You really don't need an introduction, so we welcome.
Maybe it's here.
Oh,
My bad.
with 9 speeches, we still don't know who to give the introduction to. So sorry, Ginny. Our next speaker, Ginny Snyder, has spent the week flying high. She soaked in the wonderment of the amount of kindness she has been shown by her new employer. Congratulations. It was this that inspired her today to speak to us in an attempt to persuade us to be ever mindful of the power of simplistic kindness. Please welcome, with notes, Ginny Snyder. Best of luck.
Consider this. Kindness is catching. And it's not so difficult to be kind. Kindness. Can you think of an instance when someone was particularly kind to you recently? Even more so, can you think of a time when someone was simplistically kind? Consider this scenario with me. You're at work, in your office, working diligently on the project at hand, deep in thought, when the phone rings. On the other end of the phone is an older gentleman who has apparently dialed the wrong number. Now, of course, you're immediately annoyed by the interruption in what you were doing. So what do? Do you yell at him, hang up on him, or do you take just a moment to be nice to him? Maybe say, I'm sorry, you have the wrong number. What number were you trying to dial? Okay, no wonder. This is 555-1111, not 555-1112. Then, just perhaps, you could end the call with a kind tone in your voice and wish the man a happy day. His reaction will most likely be a thankful one. And what did that take? Perhaps 10 seconds more than yelling at him? And how do you feel after ending that call? Had you yelled at him and hung up on him, imagine the negativity that would have hung over you, hung in the room, and how the weight of that would affect you as you went on. Had you been nice to him, imagine hanging up the phone, the smile that will come across your face, and knowing that your simplistic act of kindness could have helped this man out just a little bit. The kindness for your actions will be with you, smile on your face, smile in your heart. But that's how it makes you feel. Imagine the elderly man you just spoken to. He's confused because he tried to reach out to someone else and got you inadvertently. So, had you yelled at him or hung up on him, imagine how that negativity would affect him. And imagine, especially if he was quite elderly, that the confusion of that would just be made that much worse by your actions. But had you been kind to him, by simply letting him know you had the wrong number in a kind way, then imagine how the smile would spread across his face and you know that it just made a difference. Think about it a moment, but don't answer. When was the last time you held the door open for someone? Can you think of a time? How many of you go throughout your day completely unaware of the people around you? I mean, we're so busy now, right? We're on our phones the second we're out the door, while we're in our car, and certainly we're on our phones when we're heading into a building, a bank, or a business. So how could we possibly be expected to know that there's somebody walking behind us? And if we can't be bothered to hold the door open for the person directly behind us, then certainly the woman with the child in the stroller wrangling the 2 little ones behind her is going to take too much time to stand back and hold that door open for her. But imagine if you had taken just that moment to hold the door, maybe made a quick little quip about how cute her children were, how the smile would spread across her face, and the difficulty of that moment could be changed for you. And then 2 of you could go on your separate ways just with that little smile. And it's funny how one little smile like that can totally flip a switch for your entire day. All it takes is that one little moment. Until the last couple of years, I don't think I ever realized that some people are just bad people. I mean, I've definitely come across some real stinkers in my life, but I think I kind of always chalked up their actions to the thought that maybe they were just having a bad moment or a bad day. But how do I react to those people? What I try to do is to always react to them with kindness, because kindness is catching, and I'm ever hopeful that my actions toward these seemingly stinky people will perhaps light a little bit of a spark in them. There is, I promise, hope for us all. This speech, though, the one that I'm giving right now, this speech is not for those people who aren't able to allow themselves to be inspired by the kindness of others enough to actually pay it forward. This speech is for those of us who aren't perfect, who are maybe a little bit self-centered sometimes, but who intend for our kindness to always shine through in our actions towards other people. This speech is a reminder that kindness can be catching. Do you remember those commercials from the past couple of years? I can't remember what company they're for, but basically they show the same exact message. Somebody drops a stack of papers and somebody else stops to pick them up. Somebody witnesses that and is inspired to hold the door open for the next person, and then that person is inspired to very gently push someone's coffee cup back off the edge of their Starbucks table. Kindness is catching. The Dalai Lama said, if you want to make someone happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. I can think of no better piece of advice than that right there. And some people will never be able to understand the truth behind that little piece of wisdom, but thankfully, I don't believe that any of those people are here in this room with us today. Every Thursday, we are presented with the opportunity to be kind to one another. Every Thursday, we have the chance to be supportive and conscientious, and we're already well practiced in practicing the art of unexpected random acts of kindness. And I'd like to think that every once in a while, maybe our guests or someone on the other side of these windows witnesses that and is inspired just a little bit to carry that forward. Because as I said, kindness is catching.